You do a lot of coaching, and I love to ask coaches the question, what are the myths that you see your clients bringing to the table that you have to dispel almost universally?
That I have the answers. That's probably the biggest one, is that I have all the answers.
So they hire you and expect you to have all the answers for their situation.
Yeah. And I even said this to a client. What I said to the client once is in the middle of a meeting, because they ask, they'll ask questions. What do you think? And I said, well, here's the challenge. I've been sitting here for, 20 minutes, and I've done some research to understand your organization, and you've provided me with some information. I could stay here for a year, full-time, engrossed in your organization, and I would start to understand the organization different. But not that I wouldn't understand it the way that the founder has, who's been doing it for 10 years, the board members who've been around for 3 or 4 or 5. And so I think that what I hope is that I'm able to, the way I look at my coaching is that I'm either able to ask the right questions that help them remember or at least figure out how they can leverage the resources they have, or is that I know enough about what are some common practices in the industry that they can consider and see how they might take that common practice, mold it based on what's real for them, and then leverage it to move forward. And I think that's where I think the biggest question they have is, the thought is, I have all the answers. Because I think a lot of coaches come in and say, I have all the answers. All you got to do is hire me and you're going to be fine.
Use my system and boom, 1, 2,
Correct.
3. Right.
Correct. So I think that's one. I think the other thing too is that they think that you're going to hold their hand. And at times you will hold their hand. It's funny. I had a coach who I admire a lot and I'm doing some work with right now, who told me her coaching hadn't really started until somebody slammed the phone during the middle of their conversation, until she got them angry enough to really push by the facade issue to get to the deeper issue of what it is. And so I think it's sometimes our role is to challenge them and ask the challenging question that allows them to think and to look differently at the situation that they're in or the challenge that they're facing.
And also, isn't it to bring sort of trends to their mind, to the forefront? Because sometimes I think, I know my coaches and even you, as you've coached me, it's like, hey, you've done this before. What's going on here? You haven't gotten the result you were looking for isn't there. You've hit this wall again and again and again. What's really going on?